I'm going to give you the secret today to total awakening, the great awakening. You want to go there? You want to go? Do this one thing, just this one thing. You know, I always give you one thing or three things or whatever. I want to give you simple steps. You ready for this? This is freaking awesome. You can do it. You can do it today. All right? We'll see. I'm going to share it with you in just one moment. Welcome to Landria Onkka on YouTube, here to help you break through fears and live an amazing life. You want to know how to go on the Great Awakening? Do this one thing, but you have to really do it. You can't try. You have to be it. Do it. You find nothing but perfection in everything and everyone else. What? That's impossible. What about and oh? Guess what we all come from? One thing. How can you find fault in another if we're all one thing? And some of you would say, well, because that one thing may have come from that, but they're doing this. It's still us. It's still you. It's still the one. It's still the one. You can't criticize the one if you're truly loving the one. The one is that. Yeah? No, that's something else. Nope. Oh, no. There are factions of and experiences of the one. Still the one. You're going to love it. You can oppose nothing. Oppose nothing. You don't have to agree with it. You create and solve problems. No problems, but you present alternatives to things that aren't working for us. And arguing doesn't work for us. Opposition doesn't work for us. Fighting doesn't work for us. Love, compassion, seeing the beauty in another takes you to a frequency that's so high that there are no problems, and whatever comes along has true meaning, and it dissolves. It's solved. Solutions, creativity, inspiration comes. You cannot do that from a place of separation and hate. It's impossible. So therefore, you're not manifesting the things you desire because you're in the basement. There's no light in the basement. And you're down there with other people in the basement, all clawing to try and get out, can't see one another, stinky. Up in the penthouse, there's light and champagne. What's there to be worried about? Nothing. It's beautiful up there. There are no problems there. If you do not go into a space of seeing everything as an opportunity for you to participate in positive change, right? When there's a challenge, for you to change that thought from judgment to love, for you to have compassion for the murderer. Yes. You don't want to? Great. Separation. For the exact same thing that you are. Whatever you see in the other, you are creating for yourself. It's that simple. We are one thing. I was told years ago when I went to a super awakened state, a little freaky, you know, when you're outside your body, you're actually sort of observing. You're like, have to make an effort to even speak because you're not really completely in your body. I would go for runs and it was so mystical. Everything was so intense. I was running in the rain one day and I remember I stopped at the bridge, the overpass, and it was just so beautiful. And the rain was coming down and I got a download and it said very clearly, everything is one thing happening. Not simultaneously, it's just one thing happening. There's no separateness in any of it. And then it said, there's no such thing as time. Everything is one thing all just happening. There's no such thing as time. So in other words, the everything included, what will be, what can be, what has been, all happening at the same time. In other words, the one is all of these things. Now we feel like it's a separate experience. And that's purposeful, because you can't experience being Landria or Bob or Susan unless you believe that you're separate. But we know that's not really how it is. It's just allowing us to understand, can we take this, because our planet has gone into a dark place, can we take this and go back out into what we are and recognize it? Of course you can. That's why you're here. By the way, you're not just some person that plopped down here. You're here specifically in this time because you're one of the chosen ones. And you agreed to that. Are you doing your job? Because everything you think affects the collective consciousness. I still have choice in it. So no matter what you do, I still have choice. We have choice in our frequencies. You want to manifest anything? Go into a state of pure love. Experience the challenges as an observer. Don't do anything with it. Don't judge it. You can still feel the pain of the planet and still go into love. Your actions, everything should revolve around positive solutions and creations to take this planet to a higher frequency, a collective. And especially the lower frequencies deserve your compassion and love. That's your test. They're not a problem. It's your test. Are you going to love that? You can manifest an off-the-charts, awesome world that takes you in the Great Awakening when you go into this state of light. You will find no desire to correct somebody, to argue with somebody. You'll have an opinion because you're an individual expression. That's beautiful. You don't have to argue it because you're right and so are they. Remember that. They are too. Because that's their reality. And we're one, and we all have diverse thoughts, beliefs, feelings, opinions, bodies, everything. We don't celebrate that. If you're not like me, well, that's not oneness. Oneness is an expression of everything within one energy field. It gets to see everything that it can be. That's still oneness. Do you want to go into the Great Awakening? Release any negative thought about anyone, what you're watching, what you're doing, what you're believing. Let go of anything that separates you from somebody. Let go of right and wrong and become an observer in compassion and love, and know that every single thing and person on this planet is you. And you are everything. And so what you put out, you're receiving. So if you're in a place of struggle, it's because that's what you're putting out. You have to have a story to go into that struggle. I don't make you do that. Nobody makes you do. The government doesn't make you do that. You're doing it. You're totally in charge. But it's wrong. No, it's not wrong. It is. And that's part of why you came here, is to raise the frequency of the planet, one light being at a time. What's my tagline? That's why I came here. I came up with that. And you know, have you seen my logo? My logo's right here. I just had it redone. I found out, that came in my head, and I told the artists, I actually created all that myself, and I told the artists, it has to be this. And they said, what is that, an eye? It looks like an iris. It's not. Although that is the window of the world and beyond. It's actually a black hole. And that beautiful light around it. Do you know, I just heard yesterday what scientists think is in a black hole? Singularity. Isn't that interesting? I've never heard that before. I just saw that and I knew there was this endless space in that dark hole that's beautiful and perfect, and there's light all around it. And it does represent our eye. It looks like an eye, doesn't it? And it's how you see the world. If you see the world through your eye as perfect and beautiful, then that is your world. It's that simple. It's not my world. It's not his world. It's yours. You get to choose it. You don't have to tell somebody how it is. They're right too. Can you go into singularity? You can shift into a great awakening and feel peace and compassion and love no matter what happens out there. And all of a sudden, you're going to see it shift. It's going to change because you're going to be relating to that higher frequency that now is believing and thinking the way you do, that everything's perfect, and it's going to be in a higher frequency. And you're going to actually be just connecting to that which you always were, always have been, always will be. And all of a sudden the veils come down and you realize it never went away. I've always been perfect, and so is that person, the one that I thought was wrong, the one that I opposed. Right? Star Wars loves darkness to fight darkness, even if it kills darkness. It loves that because it's more darkness. Don't go into that space. Put the lightsaber down. How do you save the light? By putting your weapons down and embracing everything, no matter what, no matter what. Are you ready to go there with me? This is a super advanced practice. It's a way of life. It's a state of being. It's super advanced because it's really challenging for any person as a human being, because we're still dense. As humans, no matter how awakened you are, you're still experiencing density. Super big challenge is to let it go. Stop clinging to those thoughts. Come over to Manifest Anything. It's free. It's down in the description. It's off of landriaonkka.com. And you can go into a free video series where we talk about this every few days. Come join the Miracle Circle. It's literally a circle, and you learn the practices of the Master Key System. Every month you get practices of the Master Key System and things to do so that you can switch the thinking and realize, wow, I'm creating everything from within. That out there is all coming from here. Not for everybody, just for me. And I will connect to everybody who's in that space with me. And others will be in other spaces. You won't even see them. Right? You ready to do that? And then we create a miracle circle once a month. We get together, and it's pretty mind-blowing. People have experienced unbelievable things: abundance, healing, joy. I've seen people shift and look completely different, glowing. That's you. It exists right now. You just have to know it, embrace it, because you're whole and perfect, strong and powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. Please subscribe and please share these. If you're complaining about the nasty stuff out there, well, it seems to get a lot of views. What's that about? It can't be in business unless we're not looking at it. And whatever you look at, you create. So please subscribe, spread these videos. That's my mission in life, is to just raise the frequency of the planet, one light being at a time. That includes me. Blessings. You are unconditionally loved. You're perfect. You are light. Know that. Embrace it. Namaste.